Hey y'all, it's your girl KB, and the B is for Bobby Butte. Not beauty, just Butte. So I was going through my budget for August. Well, not really my budget because I didn't budget at the beginning of the month. It was just vibes. I was trying to sell my rental property. I was spending time with Miles towards the end of the summer. And I don't know, just dare I say being a tad bit irresponsible. So, at the end of the month, just a couple days ago, I went through all my bank accounts, all my credit card statements, and I added up everything that was spent. And the damage is already done, but the damage is damaging. So, let's talk about it. I am a 31-year-old project manager and content creator who lives in Baltimore, Maryland. I have a pretty good salary from my corporate job, but also social media does help. I recently sold my rental property, so I did get some money this month, and I talked about that in one of my previous videos. So go check that out if you haven't already. I am using a budget template that I have for sale. It's linked down below, so be sure to check it out. But yeah, let's get into it. So I spent $15,246.47. That, hey, listen, that is a lot of money. Like, just first of all, let me say I'm super grateful, super blessed to even have that amount of money to be able to spend. But when I think about it, it just sounds crazy to me. Like, I don't know. It sounds really insane. But let's get into all the expenses. So first, we're going to start with housing expenses, which was the that bucket was the highest amount of money that I have spent. Again, mainly because I was in the process of moving and selling my rental property. So altogether for housing, I spent, I'm not including the mortgages, $3,086.96. The mortgages added up to $4,212.26. So altogether, maybe it was like $7,500. So my rental property mortgage went up. It originally was $1,800, but for the month of August, I paid $2,047.80. And I think that was due to taxes and insurance going up. And then my home mortgage for the property that I'm currently in is $2,164. So mortgages ran me $4,200. But then I also had to pay the utilities at my rental property. So the energy bill, which I believe I have another energy bill to pay for because I don't know. I'm not sure if I paid August's bill. But that was 111.86. I had to pay a mover because there was a couch in the basement from when I lived there, and that was just $100. I went to Home Depot and I spent $436.18 for the whole month of Home Depot. And I spent that money renovating my house that I'm in. So I got my bathroom redone, and I'll talk about this in a separate video as well. I got my bathroom redone, and I had to pay for all of the materials. So what that looked like was drywall, screws, um I don't know, random stuff, plaster, just all the stuff that they needed to fix my bathroom. And I love my bathroom. It looks super pretty, super nice, super updated compared to what it was. So I'm grateful again to be in a position to invest in real estate and invest in the property that I currently live in. And it's a tax write-off as a content creator because the bathroom that I had before and the bathroom that I have now, I'm so excited to create content in that bathroom. Same thing with the office that I'm currently in. If you've been following me for a long time or long enough, you know that I was previously in the basement, and the bathroom that I had, I'm sorry, the office that I had in the basement, I was getting tired of it. So I feel super motivated, super inspired to be in this current office. I've been creating content, pumping it out like crazy. Same thing with Amazon. Let me add this up. I spent $412.70 at Amazon last month. Again, just on decor, cleaning stuff, everything that I needed to continue to get the house updated. And I updated my room as well. But again, we'll talk about that. So I got new sheets, duvet, just a lot of things to make me feel comfortable and to make it look pretty. I got the grass cut in my rental property that was $115, and I also paid my contractors $1,911.22. So that's weird why it was $7,000. Now let's move on to my business expenses. I do again run my social media business, and these are also tax write-offs. Some of these things I feel like I could probably cut out, like Instagram verification, but I will say I feel like it looks good for brands to have the little check mark. And also, if anything ever happens to your page, so my sister has a TikTok and she actually just got hacked last month. Now, glory to God, she got her TikTok back, but certain attributes they say that paying the $16 a month for Instagram is supposed to give you, but of course it's just a scam to make you, I don't know. Of course, it's just a scam, but I still pay it. So altogether, for my business expenses, I spent $96.08. That does include a CapCut subscription and a Google Suite subscription, and then just I bought some things on Amazon like chargers, little SD card readers, things like that. Again, tax write-offs. Get you a good accountant. I bought some dog food for my pets, and that was $52. I also had some super just different auto expenses. So I spent $782.80. I'm sorry, that's not right. I need to add in $120 for gas and $4.54 for parking that I spent when I went to an influencer event. Gas was a little bit high because I said we did some extra ripping and running, and I'm also not even 100% sure if that is the amount that I spent on gas. This month I plan to a lot of stuff on my credit card, so it'll just be easier to add up, and then as I'm spending, I'm going to maintain my September budget as I go. So every couple days, I'm going to be putting my expenses in here so I don't have to spend 2 hours, 3 hours at the end of the month adding it all up. My car payment is $360. Well, it's like $354, but I always just pay $360. My car insurance is down to $280.43. I was paying like $400 a couple months ago, but I changed my car insurance from, it was called like a local car insurance company that I think was through State Farm, maybe one of those. Now I have Allstate. So I'm glad about that. Somebody hit my car though. Somebody sideswiped my car and knocked my mirror off. So I had to get a new mirror. Grateful that I had somebody to put it on and I didn't have to pay for labor. And I also got a car wash, which I don't really do like that, but my car was filthy. So I paid $16 for that. Oh, and the car mirror was $63. Another thing that I typically don't spend money on was Uber and Lyft, but last month I put miles in an Uber. Not gonna lie. Shout out to Uber Teen because it came in handy. Some days when I didn't feel like getting up, or I remember I tried to start my car and it wouldn't start because the freaking key thing wouldn't work. The fob wouldn't work. So I had to get him a lift to camp. One time I sent him off to my aunt's house because I needed a break. I don't know. It came in handy, but I spent $63 on that. I will not be doing that this month for the month of September. A lot of these things are just for convenience. Don't let me tell you about how much I spent for Instacart. It's a lot of money. But this month so far, I went to the grocery store myself. So we'll see. Anyways, that wraps things up for my auto expenses. Now let's talk about what I spent on fun. Also, a lot of money. $965. We went to the Maryland State Fair, and it's expensive to go to the fair. Not only do you have to pay for tickets, but you got to pay for rides and food. Food was super crazy expensive. A lemonade, I think, was like $5, and you don't get refills. So if you think about it, if you got a family of 4 or even a family of 3, we got to share the lemonade because it's $15 if everybody wants a lemonade. Same thing with fries. We got a small fry, we split the fries. We got hot dogs. Hot dogs were like $4 a piece. Like, come on. It was high as hell. But we went. Same thing with eating out. We did do some celebrating or just spending some family time together before school started back up. And that came out to $437.12. But I will say some of that was just like random trips to Chick-fil-A and McDonald's. Very frivolous, irresponsible spending that I have to take accountability for. But it is what it is. I'm going to do better in September. Now, I will say, if you can't tell, look at my makeup. Period. Cutesy. Very pretty. And my hair. I spent a lot of money on beauty and fun. Last month, I spent $358.90 at Ulta. I got a new perfume, so I treated myself to that after I sold my rental property. One of my favorite perfumes is the Dior. I don't know. Yeah, I'm forgetting the name, what it's called. Actually, let me show y'all. Okay, so this pretty little thing is J'adore by Dior. And I haven't bought a new perfume in, I don't know, when's the last time I treated myself. Especially to, oh, say hi to Antoine. Especially to a luxury perfume. Now, when I was in college, I used to splurge on perfumes like crazy because I worked at TJ Maxx and I also worked at Belk. So I would just go over to the counter and just smell the different perfumes and I would just buy them. But they're like $150. I bought some new makeup. I'm going to try Rihanna Fenty, the foundation by Fenty. And then I got a new Tarte concealer, which is super small. It was like $15. But I wanted to try it. So it's nice to treat yourself sometimes. So that was my treat. I got some wine. When I sold my house, that was $15. I got a snowball that was $10, but all of these things add up. So that's the end of our fun month. For subscriptions, it was a little less. I think maybe like $28 it came up to. Yep, $28. So that includes Netflix, Hulu, Patreon, and iCloud storage. I could probably, they say you're not supposed to have multiple streaming subscriptions, but I still have Netflix and Hulu. My Hulu is always only $1 because I always get the Black Friday deal. People always ask me, how is your Hulu $1? It's because they have a Black Friday deal that you gotta tap into. So that was it. Now for beauty maintenance, I also spent a ton of money. I got my hair done. That was $290, but this is going to last me up until, what's this, September? Next month. For October, excuse me. So my appointment was $290, but I actually had to buy the hair as well, and that came up to $627.78, which sounds crazy, but when you buy quality good hair, it lasts you. So these bundles will probably last me all throughout the year, maybe even a couple years, depending on how I take care of them. I don't know. If you break that up, 627 divided by 12, how many months that is, or how that breaks down into each month, it is what it is. But it is my goal to continue to invest in my appearance. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I talked about it before. When I was in high school, I literally never got my hair done professionally. I think I maybe got it done like 4-5 times throughout my entire high school. I just always did my own hair. As I've come into adulthood, or even in college, I remember natural hair was like so popping. So I would just always do my own hair. But I like getting my hair done. I like feeling beautiful and pretty. And I will say, throughout September and maybe through October, I probably won't go get this maintenance. I do know how to maintain it myself once it's sewn in. So that just looks like washing it, blow drying it, putting some curls in it, and then pinning it up every night. So that's good that I don't have to get my hair done again until October. I did have to buy the bleach, everything to prepare the hair, all the shampoo and stuff like that as well. And then I got some lashes from Amazon. That was $13. With Miles, I spent $237.37. I had to pay for his summer camp, which his dad actually paid for, but I still have it in my budget. It was $78.61. He did a dirt bike camp for a couple weeks, and that was super fun for him. He had a blast. And I also took him to the Ravens game. I made a video about that as well. That was $158.76. For utilities, I spent $228.78. That's for my Xfinity and also my phone bill, tax write-offs as well. And then for groceries, I spent $540.35, which is above budget. My goal, I would say, is to spend about $75 a week. I spent maybe like over $100 a week. And again, I was doing Instacart, so if you add on an extra $10-15 for tip, service fees, all of that, it adds up. That's like an extra $50-60 throughout the month that I don't have to spend. Even though I hate grocery shopping, I need to save. I need to save. One of my cousins is getting married in Mexico in a couple months, so I had to pay the last payment for the destination wedding. That was $400. Last but certainly not least is the health bucket. I spent $400.68 on that. When I took FMLA leave of absence, you are not covered under your company's health insurance because you're technically not an employee, you're just off. So I spent $252.08 on my health insurance so it wouldn't lapse. I have 2 health insurance policies, one for me and Miles and one for my husband. And that's about $50 a month. And then another reason why I was super high is because of my gym membership. So I had to pay the yearly fee for my gym membership, which is $60, and then my gym membership every month is $40. Now I will say that I have been thinking about going back to my old gym, which is Planet Fitness. That's only $15 a month. But I hate Planet Fitness. I don't hate it, but I just feel like once you get to a certain level in your fitness journey, Planet Fitness just, it doesn't cut it anymore. And that's an excuse. I will say I could cut that in more than half. And the gym that I go to now is further away from my house, so that's gas adding up. I'm highly considering it. I'm highly considering switching back to Planet Fitness, but as of right now, I haven't done it. Again, because this is an excuse, but when you put yourself in certain environments, you open yourself up to certain opportunities. For example, like going out to fancy restaurants or going to a golf course and meeting people. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that down in the comments. But when I would go to Planet Fitness, I would always get like hit on, and I'm talking about like aggressively hit on, like stared at. People asking me for my number every single time. Now that I go to my little uppity gym, that doesn't happen to me. Everybody's in there, like focused on the same thing. I don't know. If you know anything about Planet Fitness, I just can't. So that's the end of that. I will say I put, like I said, a little over $3,000 towards my debt. I did open a Chase account. I put $2,500 towards that because I spent a lot of money on that Chase card last month. I think I'm going to make that card my everyday card. I also have a Discover card. I put $184 on that. I put $192 towards my credit union credit card, $164.65 towards student loans. I have a personal loan that I used to consolidate 2 credit cards earlier this year, and that is $448.99 every single month, and I put $174 on my Capital One card. So I'm proud of everything that I put towards debt because that's a lot on my debt. Even though I still have about I think it's like $5,700 towards that personal loan, $10,000 for the Discover card, which I'm gonna do a balance transfer to my credit union. So I'll have $10,000 on that, and then $10,000 on my Chase card. So $20,000 in credit card debt and $5,700 on a personal loan. And that just about wraps it up, what I spent. So again, I feel okay about what I spent in August. I had some fun. I did some splurging. I did some frivolous spending even, which I do think is healthy sometimes because I feel like when you follow people like Dave Ramsey and they tell you beans and rice and beans. I've said this before. I don't like beans. I didn't have to go to Chick-fil-A as many times, but I did. It is what it is. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And I said in a recent Instagram video that I'm going to put up, being 100% debt free is not really in my goals anymore. I want to get rid of my credit card debt, but if and when I do, like it's okay. I have a strategy, and my strategy is to go towards to do the balance transfers. Both of my balance transfers are 0% interest. So I'm going to be putting $2,000 towards my debt every single month for the next year. Personal loan, I'm also not going to pay that off. The proceeds from my house, I'm putting in my savings. I don't want to touch that money. I have been telling everybody, I'm broke. I'm not rich. I don't have no money. I don't even look at that money as if it's money for me to spend or invest. I'm going to be talking about my investment journey coming up soon, but I don't have a strategy for that right now. It's just an idea. I got to think about it and come up with an action plan so that I can, put the pedal to the metal. But I will make a separate video for my September budget because, again, we do have some locking in to do. I'm not going to spend nearly as much this month because I don't have my rental property anymore. I'm more cognizant of what I'm spending. Miles is back in school, so I don't really have to entertain him as much or feel as guilty, I guess, about not having anything fun for him to do. Like I said, beauty maintenance and stuff like that. As far as maintenance, I do everything else myself besides the hair. And for the hair, like I told y'all, I can maintain it for the next few months. So I hope you guys choose to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok for daily short form content. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Ciao.